Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. So today we are going to discuss a real-time application, that is a Notepad application. Okay, how can we create a real-time Notepad application using Python Tgetter? So it's very easy. I'm going to divide this into two parts. Today I'm going to explain the front-end part, and tomorrow the connectivity part. Not the database part. The connectivity part is quite different. We're not going to use any database concept in this. Okay, so in tomorrow's class, you'll be getting the recording. You won't have the class tomorrow. I record the video and send it to you. You can just watch it and you can do the remaining, like you can do the configuration there after watching the recording. If you're having any doubts in the evening, I'll connect for 10 to 15 minutes and clarify your doubts in that session. Okay, all of you?
Okay.
Okay. So now I'll just run and show you how does it look. Okay, so I'll get a clear idea of the layout. See. Yeah. So this is the notepad. This is our application. Okay, so in this you can write all your text and all. You can change the font families. See, for example, it's like Calibri, so change it to Calibri. I can increase the size. I can decrease the size of the font. I can make it bold type. I can make it sorry. I can make it italic type or underline type. Okay, I can change the like things there depending on the requirement. Okay, so you have different buttons also. This is for the new file. This is for the opening the existing file. This is for the saving the file, and this is for the closing the file. So if I click on the button of close file, see a heading will come close note and a confirmation message will come. Are you sure you want to close the note or not? If you click on no, it will close the note. If you click on yes, it will close the note. Right now, for example, I'm just giving all the data and I want a new file now. Don't want this file, I want a new file. So how can I take a new file now? Click on the first button. So get a heading, new node, and the like data is, are you sure you want a new node or not? If you select no, it won't take a new node. If you select yes, it will take a new node. Now, what if I give some details? I need to save this file. So if I click on the save button, it will open my system directory here. It will open my system directory. See. It is saying me to save the node. Where I want to save the node, for example, the location is desktop and the file name is test. The file name is test. And what type of file it is? Text file. So text file means txt, text file. Click on save, go to the desktop and check it. At the very bottom you can see test. We gave the file name as test, right? Open it. See, the data is coming. So in this way, you can just work with this real-time notepad application, which we created with the help of Tgetter. Okay, so shall we start with the concept, all of you, how to create it?
Yes.
All of you got the idea, right? How does it work?
Yes.
So basically, I'm going to send you the recording as well as a folder which is containing all these images and all. I'll show you the folder also, what will get in the folder. Yeah, we'll be getting this folder and in this we're getting all these files. We'll be getting a project. Okay, we'll be getting all these images. Getting all these images which we are going to use in our program. Okay, so if you show in this way, so let's show in this way. So this all of the images here, close, new, open, save and all. Let's show the images to you. Have a look. Yeah, so these are the images we'll be requiring. Okay, to close, we have a close image. To open a file, we have an open image. To take a new file, we have a new image, and to save the file, we have a save image. Okay, and we also have a, what will I say, icon also. This is the icon. This is the icon. If you check my application, see the same icon is present here also. On the very top, the title is Notepad. Beside that, you can check the icon. So I'm going to show you how you can change the icon as well. Okay, from the by default take entire icon to your required icon. Okay, so this is the file folder you'll be getting, will contain or you'll be containing the program as well as the images and all. You can just take it, import it to the PyCharm and use it. Okay, so we'll start with the creating part. So we'll go with the first part today, that the basic layout of the file, like Notepad, we're discussing today's class. Okay. So starting with the layout, I've classified my layout in 3 categories. See, basically into 2 only. See, this is one category and this is one category. I'm dividing my Notepad into 2 parts: the upper part and lower part. Upper part is containing all the buttons, all your drop-down boxes and all, and the lower part is going for the text file, a text pad where you write all your data. Okay, so basically I've done this classification on the basis of frames. Of using what? Using frames. In Tkinter, you'll be getting a topic of frames. Like you have buttons, labels and all, you'll have a attribute within frames where you can add the data. Like a frame containing a photo, we call it as a photo frame, right? In the same way, these 2 are the frames here, the upper frame and lower frame. The lower frame is containing the text box and the upper frame is containing all the buttons and drop-down boxes. So how can you create the frames in Tkinter? We'll be seeing in this concept today. So first I'll be showing you how to create 2 frames and how can we add buttons and the text box into the frames. So without any further delay, we'll start the concept. Okay, so let's start, all of you. Clear with this, right?
Yes, sir.
So I'll take a new project. Sorry, not a new project, because I'll be sharing the project anyhow. I'll create a new like Python file and show you here. Right. So if you're starting with a Tkinter, first what are the things you need to include from Tkinter? Import star. Next, root equals to tk. Next, root dot main root. Right. So if you run the program, you will see that a basic window will be coming on the screen. I think all of you are clear with this, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So now passing the geometry and all, root dot geometry. Let's say it is 600 into 400. Okay, and the title will be root dot title as Notepad. If you run it now, you can see the changes in title and size of the window. So I think 600 is width is quite extra there. You can do one thing, you can make it 600 by 600. Even height should be 600. Okay, so this is perfect now. Okay, so with this 600, height is 600. But this is resizable. This is resizable. Depending on the requirement, you can resize it. But I'm saying that once I'm giving the geometry, once I'm giving the width and height, it should be fixed. It should not be resizable. Currently, you are able to resize, but now it should not be resizable. So how can you make that change? We'll write here root dot resizable. You have an attribute root dot resizable. We'll write that 0, 0. Right? 0, 0 means don't resize the width and don't resize the height. That's the meaning of 0, 0. They will be fixed now. See, you won't get any arrow mark to resize. It is fixed. The geometry is fixed because of resizable attribute. And you can check the title, you have given Notepad, Notepad is coming on the top. And if you check there, there is an icon that is predefined in the Tkinter, leaf-like icon, a leaf-type icon. But I'm saying that instead of that, I should display my own icon. So how can I do it? See, my icon is this one. This is the icon. I need to get it onto the Tkinter window. How can I do it? And write here root dot icon bitmap. Root dot icon bitmap. Okay, what is the icon name? Pad.ico. That should be in the strings. Pad.ico. My image name is what? Pad.ico. Just give it there. Now run it. See. Instead of leaf, that pad.icu, that pad icon will be coming, the notepad icon will be coming. And outside this,
No, sir.
so now one more thing before proceeding forward, the thing is, whatever images you are seeing here, right? Whatever images and all are seeing here, actually copy pasted into the pie chart. I think all are aware of it. Each and every image should be copy pasted here. First copy it from here, right click, copy, and come here to this notepad 3pm. Your project is there, right? Right click and paste. Right click and paste. So copy each and everything here. You copy each and every image into the PyCharm project. Or else this file and all will not be valid. This images will not be valid. So first copy from your folder and just paste it into the project. That is very important thing to be done. Before starting out the program, only do it because in future you won't have any problem. Clear, everyone? Yes, all of you clear, right?
Yes, got it.
Okay. So now the next thing is I should be creating the frames. I should be creating the frames. So right here, creating frames. So first, how can we create the frame? We need to give the name of the frame first. So I'll be giving the name of the frame as menu frame. The first name of the frame is menu frame. Using frame attribute. Using frame attribute where F is capital. If you want button, you write button attribute. There are button B is capital. The same way to declare frame, you write frame attribute where F is capital. You are sending it to where? Sending it to the root. Sending it to the root. In the same way, I'm creating one more frame with the name text frame where I'll be storing my text box. Frame and sending it to the root. Before this, I'll be declaring all the colors and all. So for my root color means window color. I'll be taking as, for example, white. Next, menu frame color. So I'm writing a menu color equals to, let's take yellow. Okay, and text color. Text color will be always be black or no? You can take here black. Now, if you run the program, you can see the window color is in gray color. It is coming in a gray color, but I set to be white color. So there is no change applied. Why? Because I have been given in this way. I should write what root.config. Okay, bg equals to root color. Bg equals to root color. So what is the root color? White. So that white will be applied to that specific window. So now if you observe, it is coming in the white color. That's the concept. Any doubts in this?
Sir.
Okay. So now in the menu frame, I'll be giving the color as bg equals to, the color is menu color. And here also bg equals to, the color is text color. Okay, now I should pack this frames. How to pack it? Menu frame dot pack. And this also text to frame dot pack. Instead of place, I'm using pack there. So pack means what? Close it. To close it. If you run it, if you run the program now, you can see a small dot here. You can see a small dot here. So that is the beginning of the frame. That is the beginning of the frame. From there, your frame will start increasing. Okay, so that dot represents the like what you say presence of frame. Okay, now. So frames are also being created. So let's add the items into the frame now. Okay, that is buttons. So right here, creating buttons. So now how to create the buttons? See. First, I take a button name. For example, the first button I will create is for the new file. So I write here new underscore file. I'll give the button name as new underscore file equals to which attribute? Button attribute. You should go where you should not go to the root. You should go to the menu frame. So right there, menu frame. You're placing that button into the menu frame. What is the text text is new file. Now close that button. So new file dot, you should not use place, you should not use pack, you should use what? Grid. Now what is grid, sir? Grid is nothing but grid will work on only two things, rows and columns. So row equal to 0 and column equal to 0. Means in the frame we should close this, we should display this button at the 0 row and 0 column. At 0 row and 0 column. Okay, check it. See. So this button is coming where? On the 0 row and 0 column. And I'm saying that instead of this text, I need an icon to display the button. I need this image to display that button. I need this image. So how can I do it? See here. It's quite complex concept. Observe here carefully. I take a variable with the name new image equals to. Now I have a method with the name image tk. I have a method with the name image tk. So it is actually a third-party package. So you should already import it. You should import it. Before importing, make sure you're installing it. You are installing it. So open command prompt. Type cmd and open command prompt. And what is installed here? Will install pip install pillow. So what is pillow? Pillow is a package which will help you to display all the images on your Tkinter video. Okay, so repeat again. Go to the command prompt and type the package name as pip install pillow and press enter. So for me, already I have installed it. For you, it will take around 4 to 5 minutes to install, and your pillow model will be ready to be used. So you can see that showing the requirement already satisfied. Now after this, what we should do? For you, it takes around 4 to 5 minutes of time to install. Okay. After installing, we should import here. How to import? From PIL. The PIL should be capital. PIL is representing pillow only. Shortcut for pillow. Capital P, capital I, capital L. From PIL, import what? Import image tk. Import image tk. Image tk means giving the image to the Tkinter. And one more package is there, image. One more package is there, image. Install, import both of this. Image tk and image. From which? From the package name as pillow. So first install pillow using command prompt and then import it here. And from pillow importing what? Image tk and image. Clear with this, everyone?
Yes.
So now how to use them? See here. So I've taken a variable, right, within a new image. Inside this I write image tk dot photo image dot photo image tk dot photo image. Inside this I write image dot open. What is the image name? New.png. New.png. You can see here the image name is new.png. The image name is new.png. Just give the same name inside this image.open. Like you have a method to open the file.open and then file name. In the same way, you have a method to open the image, that is image.open. In the parenthesis, give your image name. Clear, all of you? Yes, any doubts in this?
Yes, understood.
Okay, so now this whole thing is stored in which variable? Into the new image variable. So I'll be calling this new image variable into my button with the attribute image. So image equals to new underscore image. So now this new underscore image is containing this new.png image file will be sent to this button now. Okay, so if you run the program, see. So that image will be coming on the Tkinter. Image will be coming on the Tkinter. Right, and also this. Okay, so the same process for remaining images also. So first declare all the buttons and go to the image. So right here, next button is open button. So open button equals to button attribute. Should go to the menu frame. Where text is not there and remove the text. Text is not required actually. But image is there. So what is the image name? I'll give it now. So open underscore image equals to image tk dot photo image. In the parenthesis of photo image, write the image dot open. In the strings, what is the name of the image now? Open dot png. So you can see here open dot png. This is the image. So we're calling it here into the open underscore image. And we'll send this open underscore image variable into this button. Into this button. Now it is time to close the button. So open underscore button dot grid. Okay, row will be same. Row 0, but column will change. Column equals to 1. Means in the next column. Row 0, column 1. Means row will be same in the next column. We should display the button. So run it. See, in the next line, the button will be coming. Okay, in the same way, create the more 2 buttons. So next button is for save. So save underscore button equals to button. In this copy paste, only the images thing will change. Menu frame, comma, image. I should pass the image name there. So save underscore image equals to image tk dot photo image. Inside this image dot open. What is the image name? Save dot png. Save dot png. So if you click on the save dot png, this is the image that will be get displayed. And inside this image attribute, call that variable name, that is save underscore image. And close it. So save underscore button dot grid. Row equal to 0. Now what will be the column for this? Yes. What will be the column?
2.
2, right. Means in the next column. Okay. Next, the last button is close button. So close underscore button equals to, I'll just copy paste. Close underscore image equals to image tk dot photo image. The parenthesis image dot open. And the image name is close dot png. So if you open the close dot png, this is the image that should get displayed. And instead of save image, you write close underscore image. So close underscore button dot grid, where row is same 0, but column is how much it is?
3.
3. Okay, so by this your all the buttons will be added. Make sure you're sending it to the menu frame only. If you send it to the root, it won't work. Right click and run. See, all the buttons are coming perfectly fine. Right, everyone, in awesome this.
Yes, clear.
Okay. So now actually I've given some background color to the menu frame. If you see on the top, I've given the background color to the menu frame. Okay, with the menu color. Menu color is holding what yellow color. But if you run the program, there is any yellow color coming in the background. Is there any yellow color coming there? No, right?
No.
So whenever you have to access the yellow color, inside this grid only, after the columns and all will pass what? Will pass their pad x. Pad x means, first of all, that's called the padding concept. Padding means what? Giving the spaces, giving spaces in the background, giving space in the background. So pad x means passing space in the x-axis. How much you want to pass? 5. And pad y means padding on the y-axis, giving the space on the y-axis. So if you run now, you will see some color in the background. You will see some color in the background. Okay, do it for all the grid classes. Do it for all the grid. For each and every thing you should do it. Okay. Look more realistic. Okay, and also in this, using this pad x and pad y, just increasing spacing of x-axis and y-axis. That's it. Any doubts?
No.
So now the next thing is what? Creating drop-down boxes. One is for font family, one is for font style, one is for font size. Okay, so how to create it? See here. First, you should declare a list. I'll be copy pasting from the previous code because it will take some time and it's easy to understand. First of all, you should take a list. You can take list name anything. I'm taking the list name as families. And you can include some font families here. Now get a question, how do you get the font families? Okay, I'll be sending you a code. I'll be sharing the code in the WhatsApp group where in that program you can easily check what are the font families present in the Tkinter. What are the different types of fonts present in the Tkinter. I've selected little of them you can select more of them if you want. Okay, I've stored in the list format. Now, this is in which format? String format, integer format, or float format? Yes, the data inside the list, it is in which format?
String.
String, right? Right. So whenever you want to read the data into the string format, in the string format, you need to include this string var. It is a data type. It is a data type which we use to read the data in which type? String type. So string var is a third-party module. You should import on the top first of all. So how to import? From Tkinter. Import string var where S is capital and V is capital. So the string var will come into existence. So now I take a variable font underscore family and I place my string var and at the end parenthesis means what? I'm going to read each and every data in which format? String variable format. So that's the meaning of this. Okay, now I'll be taking another variable with the name font family drop and the method I'll be using is option menu. Like to create the buttons, I'm using button attribute. In the same way, drop down box is noted by the name as option menu. Option menu means drop down box. Where O is capital, M is capital. Now, where I should place it into the menu frame. Okay, and what I should place, I should place what? All the families present in that list. But these are in which format? String variable format. And string variable is stored in font underscore family. So call that font underscore family here. And then you will be placing what you will be placing the list name, that is families. The meaning is you are placing your drop-down box into the menu frame and you are scanning all the data into the string variable format. So string variable is present in the font family variable. You are calling it here. And then you are giving a list name. That's it. Okay, for now exclude this one. Now I'm closing that drop-down box. So dot grid row is 0, column is 4. Previously column was 3, now incremental become 4. Paddix packed by your sync 5 and 5. That's it. So if you run the program now, you can see a drop-down box will be created. See, a drop-down box is created. Click on that, you can see everything is coming in a horizontal format. All the elements are coming in a horizontal format. But how do we need? We need in a vertical format. Am I right? We need in a vertical format. So for that, what we'll do is, at the time of keeping this list into the option menu, we'll place an asterisk symbol before it. We'll place an asterisk symbol, a star symbol before it. Means what? Make it into the vertical format. Run it and check it. Now everything will come in a vertical format. We can select one by one. You can select one by one. Clear, all of you? Any doubts in this?
No, sir.
No, right? So if you observe here, for example, if I'm selecting terminal, there is a change in the size of the drop-down box, right? If I select Times New Roman C, the size is changing or not of the drop-down box? It's changing, right? See, if I make it Calibri, again it's changing. It's becoming small. If I make it Times New Roman again, it's increasing. So I'm saying that it should not happen like this. The size should be fixed. How can we make it fixed? See. So right here, font family drop dot config. Width equals to 50. Width equals to 50 means I'm just using that drop down box. What is the drop down box name? Font family drop. Dot config means making a change inside the drop down box. What I'm changing the width. I'm making it 15 right now. Run it and check it. So now width will be 50. You take anything that will be fixed. That will be a fixed size. Without changing the size of the drop down box. Okay, now. The thing here is, if I run the program, there should be a name for the drop-down box, right? There is no name for the drop-down box right now, but I'm saying there should be a name so that user can understand. So how can we pass the name? Right here, font family. Font family dot set. Dot set. Set means for giving a name. So what is the name? I write terminal. What is terminal? So terminal is the first font. It is the first font family of giving inside the list. So I'm placing it here. That is terminal. So if you run it now, see, we display terminal as the drop-down box name. Right? Clear with this, all of you?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, any doubts in this? Okay, so now you should create remaining two drop-down boxes. One is for size, one is for style and all, bold, italic and all. So I'll copy paste again the same thing. Now, talking about the size, I've taken a variable with the name size and I've taken a list that representing all the different sizes. Starting from 12 and all the way to 72. Now, the data inside the list is in which format? Integer format or string format?
Integer.
Integer format, right? So now can I use string var here? Can I use string var?
No.
No, right? Because I need to scan the data into var. I need to scan the data in the integer format. How can I use string var? To do that, I'll be importing one more package on the top after string var. That is named as int var. So whenever I want to read the data into the integer format, we'll be using what? Int var. Again, it should be also placed in a variable. It should be again placed in a variable. And again, parenthesis is compulsory. Means for reading all the data inside the list in which format? Int var format. Nothing but integer format. Now we're creating a drop-down box with the name size underscore drop using option menu, where O capital and capital. And placing into the menu frame, same configuration. First give where you're placing it. Next, where the int var is present into the font size. So give the variable name there. And what is the list name? Size. So place an asterisk symbol to make it in a vertical order and place your and give your list name there. That's it. Now, what is the name of that drop-down box? It is 12. What is the name? It is 12. So font underscore size dot set 12. Okay. Now, what is the width of that drop-down box? It is size underscore drop dot config with this 6. With this 6. And where you are placing it? You are placing it at the column 5. Row is 0. Pad is pad by your common, but only column will change. Previously, you placed that in column 4, right? And this will place it at column 5 in the next line. Check it. So everything is same, only the list is changing and the scanning part is changing, that's it. And the column is changing. Any doubts?
Clear.
Yeah, all of you are clear, right? Am I going fast?
No.
Because everything is very fine. I'm using this in my program, that's it. Yeah, so now the last drop-down boxes for bold, italic and all. Okay, so how to create it? Same procedure. I've taken a variable with the new style, I've taken a list and I've kept the data in a string format. So data is none type, bold type, italic type and underline type. Okay, now do people say me the data present in there is string type or integer type? String type, right? So I should use string var or int var to scan the data. String var. So simple concept, right? I've taken a variable name font underscore style and I've just given there string var and I've just given there string var because I'm reading the each and every element in the string variable format. I've taken the drop-down box name as style underscore drop and using the option menu of creating the drop-down box where I'm inserting into the menu frame and the string var is present in font underscore style. So I'm writing font underscore style. And what is the list name? Style. So I'm placing an asterisk symbol before that to print in a vertical format. That's it. And what is the name of the drop-down box? None. What is the name? None. So font underscore style. You should always use the string variable, like wherever the string variable is stored, you should use that variable to use the set method. You can't use this one. You should use this one. So font style dot set. What is the name? None. And what is the width of that drop-down box? It is 8. So how will you describe it? Style underscore drop dot config width equals to 8. Now, where will you place it? Using the grid, you will place at the 0 row and the column is 6. Previously, close that previous thing on the 5th column. Now, closing it on the 6th column. where pad x and pad y are 5 and 5. Means padding spacing on the x-axis is 5 and spacing on the y-axis is 5. So check it now. So see another drop-down box will be created. That is displaying bold, italic and all. Right? So first menu frame is being created. Our menu frame is being created. Now see this.
No, sir.
All of it clear, right? Okay. So now the next thing is I should be creating a text box. I should be creating what? I should be creating a text box. My menu frame part is done. I am trying to create a text box where I can give the data. I can insert the data. So how to create that? It's very easy. See here, we should only install the packages. Import the packages. That's it. So right here, creating text box. So how to do it? First of all, take a variable. I'll take the variable name as text underscore box equals to, in the top, I'll import a package. After I'll import a package with the name scroll text. Scroll text. What is the package name? Scrolled text. Now come down and write here scrolled text. Just use it here. Scrolled text dot scrolled text. This is a package name and this is the method name. This is package name and this is method name. Dot scrolled text means S capital T capital. Actually, we use this only. This is present inside this package. So first you are importing on the top. Okay, and then you are using at the bottom. Okay. So scrolled text dot scrolled text. So by this only text box will be created. You should insert where you should not insert into the menu frame. You have created two frames, right? Menu frame and text frame. So insert into the text frame. Insert where into the text frame. So right there, go inside the text frame. Go inside the text frame and close it. So text box dot pack. Text box dot pack. So now run it and check it. So you can observe there a text box is being created. Sorry. You can check there a text box is being created. Starting from here and all the way till here. You can see on the right side, even the scroll bar is coming. Even the scroll bar is coming. So give some data here, we'll take it. If you keep on pressing enter, it'll activate the scroll bar. See, it'll activate the scroll bar. To move up and down. Getting it all of you? It's easy or not? I just imported the package with the name scroll text. And I'm using it the bottom. I'm using it the bottom. Once again, I'll clear this drawing. Okay, so how to use it? Take a variable and place there scroll text dot scroll text. So after dot, S will be capital, T will be capital. Where you are placing it inside the text frame, and at the end are packing it. So text box will be created into the window. We are able to pass the text. And doubts on this?
No, sir.
Okay. So now this text box is half length or full length? Like half length, right? It's only consuming half of the window. But I'm saying you should come till extreme bottom. You should consume whole window there. You should take whole window. So how can I do it? Observe here. So I close this. And inside this I'll pass width equals to 100. Sorry. Width equals to 1000. And height equals to 1000. Okay, width equals to 1000 and height equals to 1000. Means take maximum width and maximum height. Okay, run it. See, if you observe here, the text box will be coming for the whole page now. For the whole page, you can see the scroll bar is coming all the way to down, up till down like this. So that is because of changing the width and height. I'm placing width as 1000, height as 1000. That's it. Okay, so by this, your first part is done. The first layout is done. Okay, here you have seen how can we create, how can we change the icons of our window, how can we add images to the frames, how can we create the frames, how can we add the images, drop down boxes, and how can we create a real-time scrolled text like a text box coming with a scroll bar. You have seen how can we insert a text box or like already coming with a scroll bar using the Python packages. So task is like your work is to practice all this concept today And tomorrow we'll schedule a recording for the second part, where I'll be showing you how can you add the functions to these buttons. How can you make these buttons work in the real time? And by this will be done with the Notepad concept. And in some time I'll be sharing the project as well as the recording also of today's class. You can practice it, and in doubts you can clarify in the group. Okay, all of you.
Okay.
Any doubts in this?
No doubts for now.
No, right? No doubts, right? Akash and Manas, any doubts?
No, sir.
Yeah. So I'll share this. You can practice and let me know. Okay. So stop today, and in like I said, tomorrow share the recording of part 2, and in the evening I'll take 10 to 15 minutes of your time to ask whether any doubts are there or not. Okay. So close today. We continue tomorrow then. Okay, all of you.
Okay. Thank you.